All right. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing today? Jay here with another Coffee Q&A. And it's hotel week, meaning that we're trying different coffees from hotels that I've picked up as I've traveled over the past year. So, there are coffees that the hotel provides. And I thought we'd explore some of them. I picked up a few because I thought I'd make some review videos about them for the channel. But then I thought, we'll just do this live stream here in the Coffee Q&A. So how you all doing today? Welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Oh, wrong way. This way. Yeah, this way. I don't know which way. Some way. But, or if you're watching the replay, feel free to drop any comments down below. All right, so today's coffee is actually one called it's from a place called Hawaiian Paradise Coffee. And, oops, let me turn this. I'm always forgetting to turn the overhead camera on first. So this is the Hawaiian Paradise. Hawaiian Paradise Coffee, Hawaiian Rainforest Coffee. Regular, there's also a decaf, I believe. And this one is from the Rainforest Alliance Certified. So yesterday's coffee was also Rainforest Alliance Certified. Rainforest Blend, Hawaiian Rainforest. I don't know what's up with that. And here's what they say here. Not your usual cup of coffee. Rainforest Alliance Certified Coffee is grown by individual farmers that care about their land and the environment. Often organic, but always earth-friendly, the Rainforest Certified Coffee is full-bodied and made with true Aloha. One pouch makes 1 pot of coffee. Use less water for stronger cup. And this is actually made by a company that's called URAM in Honolulu. And URAM is they trade under they do DBA as Hawaiian Paradise Coffee, and they provide coffee on a commercial scale for hotels, restaurants, like they do IHOP in Hawaii, Zippy's in Hawaii, one of my favorite restaurants, Marriott Hawaii. They do quite a lot of industrial coffee, and they have a place down in Kapolei that is looks like a very large-scale industrial commercial type of roaster. So who knows what it's going to taste like? But it is Rainforest certified. And here's the thing. So you hear all these certifications, fair trade, rainforest, bird-friendly, canopy, whatever. And these are all designations of that they meet certain criteria for whatever that organization wants, right? So I don't know what the Rainforest certification means. I never really, as a coffee buyer myself for Spro, I don't really care about those things. Like those are not, to me, those are not what's important. They're nice to have if the coffee meets whatever criteria to preserve the rainforest, preserve animal life. That's a fantastic thing. But my primary concern is cup quality. And you find that just because it's certified something doesn't necessarily mean that the cup quality is of any level or any expectation. Like there are Rainforest certified, organic certified, fair trade certified coffees in all levels of the spectrum, right? From very low grade commercial all the way up. It's just all about, a lot of it has to do with origin and how they process it or where it comes from. So those are things to consider that, you see these certifications and they're nice, but they're not necessarily indicative of quality. And if quality is what you're looking for, bear that in mind, right? All right, so let's get into this. Like yesterday, let us take our coffee and we're going to weigh it out and see just how it is. Oh, I do have 2 packs of these. So I was actually thinking originally that maybe we'll just double strength it. But then I realized that a coffee we're going to be using on Friday. Yeah, Friday's coffee is also from Hawaiian Paradise. And so this one's called, and I have a few packs of this. This is called the Hawaiian Paradise Coffee. It is not the Rainforest blend. It is not Rainforest certified. It does have kosher and manufactured with 100% solar energy. And yeah, so I thought I would keep one of these to go head to head with this on Friday. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep one of those. We're going to brew this one today. So let us get going with this. Let's see what we got here. Hawaiian Paradise. We're going to open it up. So how's everyone doing today? Anything interesting happening? Oh, one thing to remind you, tomorrow we will not have the live stream tomorrow morning. Like I said yesterday, I have to take my aunt to the doctor's, and that's happening in the morning. So I will not be available. I don't even know why I sliced it. All right, so yesterday we had these little pouches for the little round pouches, the pods. This is a different one. This is just kind of like a brew pouch, right? So this you just place inside the whatever brewer they provide for you, and it just filters through. Again, today we're gonna kind of do everything. As long as they're packaged like this, we're gonna do pretty much the same thing we've been doing as yesterday. We're just gonna do full immersion to try to get as much extraction and much flavor out of it as possible. All right, so let's have a look here. Zoom in a little bit more. Okay, let me adjust. Maybe that's better. What do you think? What do you think? Is that better? That's better. Great. We're going to drop this down. Boom. 8 grams. Again, 8 grams. I think there's some kind of universality here with hotel coffees and 8 grams. All right, so let's go back to this. We're going to take 8 grams. How is the aroma? Well, I just kind of whiffed it. Roasty. It smells difficult. It smells harsh, a bit rough, roasty. Not terribly, for me personally, not terribly enticing. All right, let's put this in here. So we're going to put that in here. We got 8 grams. What do? We did 140 grams yesterday. Today we're going to do probably the same amount. Is that right? Is that right? My calculation's correct? Yeah, so that is 8 grams is good for 4 ounces, which is about 140 grams. Okay, 140 grams. I mean, I could just pour it in ounces, but hey, why do we do that? Let's just change that. Why are we struggling? Oh, well, it doesn't change. All right. All right, here we go. Hot water just off the boil. Ooh. I'm sloshing it around because we want to promote hydration and extraction. So just join us. We are brewing the Hawaiian Paradise Coffee Hawaiian Rainforest blend that I picked up at one of the hotels that I was at in the islands when I was there back in November last year. I went there to shoot some videos. You've probably seen some of them here on the channel. Ended up visiting a place called Onocoffee. Really amazing coffee place. Brian Lowe. I was actually there for. I went to Hawaii because I got back in February of 2022. United sent me an offer. They were like, "Would you like to go to Hawaii? It's our 75th anniversary of flying to Hawaii, so we're offering all of our Mileage Plus members 35,000 miles round trip to Hawaii until the Thanksgiving blackout dates." And I was like, well, I don't know when I can go. So I pushed it as far as I could, pretty much to the last day that I could fly out there, and figured that I'd work it out. And I went to Hawaii, hadn't been there in 7 years, got to see a lot of friends and my cousin and a lot of other friends out there, and got to tour around and went to Oahu, that's where I used to live. So it's always a wonderful place for me to go to and spend a lot of time there. Went to the Big Island. Actually, I only went to the Big Island. I didn't go anywhere else. Went to the Big Island, to Hilo, to Na'alehu, which is one of my favorite towns, Na'alehu, Pahala, all the way in the southern part of the Ka'u district on the Big Island. One of my favorite places, really. And then I went to Kona for a day or two, and I happened to be there at the right time for the Kona Coffee Cultural Festival. And it was really cool because I looked up some of the events, and I went to this one, how to brew, like a pro event where a bunch of baristas were giving brewing demonstrations and showing attendees how to brew. And Brian Lowe, who's the owner of Koana, he was giving a demonstration about the clever, and just the way that he was talking about it and talking about brewing and talking about his approach, I was like, there's something really unique and notable about this guy. And his coffee shop was in Mountain View. And so if you travel from Hilo, to go to Pahala, you go through Volcano and Haleakala, not Haleakala, Halemaumau, and you go through the Volcanoes National Park. But before you get there is Mountain View, and I was actually going that way back to Hilo through Kona. But so I had no plan to go to Mountain View again, but I decided, let me go out there one day, check out his place. It's I don't know, 25-minute drive or something like that. Totally worth it. Probably, he's definitely one of the best operators in the United States. So, and worth a visit. Like I would say, Koana and Cafe du Spro in Salt Lake City I would say they're the two top operators in the United States to coffee. So if you want to explore the best that American coffee has to offer, either Koana or Cafe du Spro. And I've been to a lot of places. Not to say the other ones aren't good, it's just that these guys are like on a whole nother level, thinking about coffee in a different way. All right, we've got just a few more moments. We are at 3 minutes, 50 seconds. We'll do a little more sloshing. All right. How is this going to do for us? All right, 4 minutes. That's good. Let's have a taste. There it is. There's our elixir. Dan, what's going on, man? I have some corn in the freezer. I haven't quite figured out how to dial it in. Oh, I would just say, just start with the 2 grams for every finished ounce and start from there. And if you like it, see if you don't like it, check your grind for whatever brewing device you're doing, and then adjust. But don't sweat it too much. But what kind of Kona do you remember where it's from? All right, so let's have a smell. Definitely this rough, roasty, defecty, kind of dry a little bit on the sensation. So a lot of muddiness, dirtiness, a lot of that CBB type of coffee, that damage to the coffee. It's dry. It's kind of how you have really tannic wines, like red wines, that are really kind of on your tongue. It's really like dry, kind of a little bit like that. Not terribly pleasant, but not awful. You add cream and sugar, this will be fine. But now also, this is also at, like yesterday, a concentration that would be what we would normally brew. Like what we would normally brew, this is what the concentration is. What they intended you to brew, 8 grams of coffee into a 10-ounce mug or 8-ounce mug, different story. So let's give that a try. I'm going to pour this back so we can use as much of it as we can. We're going to add, we're at 134 now. We're going to go to 300. Is that what we did yesterday? Or did we go to 240? No, we went to 250 yesterday. Or 230, right? Okay, we'll stop there. That's going to give us about 8 ounces. Is that right? No, it should be 280. 144 is 4 ounces. Let's go to 280. There we go. Give it a little more sloshing around. Now, I'm not too worried about it, even though we just added more water. Really, we presume we've got the extraction out of the coffee, so the extraction will be the same. We're just now going to dilute it. Then let's have a look at the It doesn't look off at 8 ounces. It looks like a respectable coffee, right? It's a little bit translucent. I mean, the aroma isn't, it's not exciting. It's just, it smells like commercial coffee. So, like yesterday, where actually this one has a little bit more flavor than like yesterday when we diluted the coffee bean and tea leaf, it was very light. It became very like super neutral. This one isn't as neutral. This one has a little bit more character to it, and the fact that what I'm really getting more is that dry, kind of dirty finish that you get from like coffee berry borer damage. That kind of dirtiness. That's really the dominant characteristic. It's really of course, the concentration is very light as the brew. So, yeah, nothing too exciting. I wish I could. I was hoping something would be exciting, that I could really be like, it's amazing. But it is just, it is what it is. It's definitely not the kind of, like, we think of Hawaii, right? And like Hawaii, oh, amazing, like vacation spot and like the paradise. But this is not. This is really just there to wake you, to help you get through your. It's not even wake. It's not even enough to wake you up. It's just there to give you your morning. If you're visiting Hawaii and you gotta have a coffee in the morning, this will address that desire, right? Like you'll get some coffee flavor. You'll probably put cream and sugar in it, and it'll be passable enough for a lot of people. But it's definitely not like, it doesn't warm you with a taste of Aloha, right? It's not like you're like, yeah, you know what I mean. All right, let's see here. Sadly, the roaster did not specify which Kona. I think my problem is the roast is probably intended for pour over, and I'm currently in the espresso phase. Well, really, you should be able to use both. Well, I mean, you can use any coffee for any brew method. That's just the base idea. Now, of course, even myself, we do design different blends to, like our espresso blend is designed to be espresso, right? So it will make a nice, robust cup as a brewed coffee, but it really is designed to perform beautifully as an espresso. So yeah, I get it. I don't know if Kona really is a great espresso ever. I think some people in the islands are using Kona for espresso, and I think one of the basic things they're doing is they dark roast them, and that's like, no matter how much we've advanced in 20 some years, we're still at that point of like, oh, espresso roast means dark coffee. It's like, oh no. I don't know. I don't know if it depends on which coffee you have, and I don't know what roaster you got it from. But just because, here's the thing. So in Kona, there are over 600. I think now there's over 630 farms. Most of them are either family owned for generations, smaller operations, or they're gentleman farmers. People like people from California that made a lot of money in IT or something in the 90s. They came to Hawaii, bought some land or leasehold some land, built a house, and then built a coffee farm because they thought it'd be cool. So they're not, and that's not to say they can't make great coffee. Like the first Kona the first Kona farm that I bought from, a place called Pele Plantations, a guy named Gus Broxton, who was exactly like that. Gus was IT retiree and came to Hawaii and made coffee. And he produced actually really fabulous Kona. But the reality of Kona is that, just like we talked about yesterday, with any farm, they're producing the spectrum. So you can get, just because it says Kona is a designation of origin. It's not a designation of quality. I've had Kona, like I remember one time I was in Hilo, and there's this little drive-through drive-through coffee place. I don't know if it's still there or not, but they had a drive-through and little like small building. I think it was by the Kamamalu Shopping Center, and they had a big sign on their building, $2 Kona, and I was like, what, $2 Kona? And so I stopped in, and man, it was like defect ridden, and like it was worse than this, right? It was really, really like low grade, and so like in Kona, in Hawaii, they have different grades. There's extra fancy, which are the higher designations, right? And those are really more about the number of defects in the coffee sample and the bean size, right? So it's hard to like specify designations for flavor, but it's more about quality of the bean, right? And so then you can have like the lower grades that include broken and chipped and defect ridden and berry damage and borer damage. And if you're selling them in the state of Hawaii, you can sell it as Kona. You can't sell it outside the state of Hawaii. You can't ship it out as a designated Kona, but you can in. So yeah, there's a wide range of coffees that are designated, that are true Konas. They're really from the area, but maybe they may not be the best quality ever. Like I was gifted a bag of Kona from some dear friends who I love to pieces. I love them dearly, but you know, they gave me this coffee and it was pretty heavily roasted. Like they gave it to me in a bag, and I could smell the for lack of a better word, putridness of this roast through the bag, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't say no. So, but I love those guys. I love them so much. So but yeah, of course, it's one of those things. It's like it's a gift from the heart, and it's like, you know, that's what's important, right? So maybe we'll try that coffee soon. But yeah, you know, maybe give it a try, or you know, maybe save the Kona in your freezer for another day when you're making pour over, like when friends come over and you want to give them something special, right? That's a nice way, and people, oh wow, Kona. There's still a wonderful aura about Kona that people love, and that's the thing about Hawaii. Hawaii is a great place because it conjures up really beautiful thoughts in people's minds. You know, like I remember when I was living there. If I was traveling around the world and I was like somewhere and people ask you where you from, and if I'm, you know, now, well, I'm from Baltimore. Oh, okay, that's cool. Or now they say, oh, The Wire. But before it was just, okay, that's cool. But you tell anyone you're from Hawaii, and man, it's just like their eyes glaze over and they're like, oh, so awesome. And then they're much nicer to you. It's very strange. It's very strange. All right, so that's our coffee for the day. We're gonna, like I said before, we're not gonna have our live stream tomorrow because I've got to go take care of my aunt. But I'd share with you, I was gonna drink this, but I'm gonna have to drink another coffee. But I stopped by the local Latino market and was looking for concha, and which are pan dulce. This one I got. I don't even know what this is called, right? Like, but it's kind of concha dough, and it looks like they formed it, sliced it, and then twisted it, or something like that. But it looks kind of cool, so I'm going to give it a try, see what it's like. I don't know what it's called. I would like to ask them more questions, but my Spanish is really, really poor. So maybe tomorrow, or maybe Thursday, I'll ask them, hey, which bakery did this come from? But right now, it's still just kind of, bueno, buenas, gracias, luego. All right, so with that said, thank you, Dan. Yeah, that's what's for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. Good to see you. We'll be back on Thursday with the live stream. So see you then if you have the time. If you're just watching the replay, leave comments down below. Always good to spend time with you guys, and hope you have a good one.